Your blood pressure's still quite high. I'm a bit puzzled by that. I would have thought that it would have come down since you were here 2 months ago. You've been taking the medications I prescribed.
Actually, no. After I got home, I decided not to fill the prescription. I was hoping that my blood pressure would come down on its own.
Okay, well, what about reducing your salt intake?
Well, that's kind of complicated.
Listen, we went over all this last time, right? I want to help you, but you have to reduce your salt intake and take the medications I prescribed. There's not a lot I can do.
I know it's hard for me.
I know it's hard, but your health is up to you. I can only help you if you follow my advice. And from my perspective, it's really important that you reduce your salt intake and take the medications I prescribed.
Okay, doctor, whatever.
So, how'd it go, Dad? What happened?
Well, nothing. I mean, I tried to explain why is it so difficult for me to take the pills and why I can't cut back on salt, but nothing. The guy just wouldn't listen at all. Nothing. I mean, just like the last time. I just wasted another 2 hours of my...
Blood pressure's still quite high. I'm a little puzzled by that. I would have expected it would have gone down by now since you were here a couple of months ago. You've been taking the medications I prescribed.
Actually, no. After I got home, I decided not to fill the prescription. I was hoping that my blood pressure will come down on its own.
Oh, okay. Well, have you at least reduced your salt intake as we discussed?
Well, you know what? That's kind of complicated.
All right, maybe we better take a step back. Why don't we both have a seat? So, you have any concerns about your health that we haven't talked about?
Well, I mean, I could lose a couple pounds or I could exercise more maybe. I mean, who wouldn't these days, right? Doctor, to tell you the truth, I was a bit surprised when you told me that I have a problem with high blood pressure because I feel fine.
Well, what's your understanding of high blood pressure?
Well, I mean, in my case, it's just one of the numbers that's slightly off. I don't think it's that important. I don't think it's affecting my health at all.
Well, in fact, with high blood pressure, you often don't know it's a problem until it's too late. But before we get to that, why don't you tell me a little bit more about why you didn't take the medication I prescribed?
Well, last year, my uncle went to see his doctor, didn't feel well, and he gave him medications for heart and some blood pressure medications. And after that, he got really, really sick, ended up in a hospital for 2 weeks. Now he's on disability. My aunt had to quit her job to take care of him, and I'm very careful when it comes to med. I don't want something like this to happen to me. And we all think that, he may have been just under a lot of stress, and that was it.
So, what are your ideas for dealing with your high blood pressure?
Well, since you ask, I mean, I have this herbal supplement that my aunt told me about that apparently is supposed to be really, really good for your blood pressure. And, where I come from, we're really big on natural remedies before we take medications. And my grandfather, for example, he was 92. He never took a single prescription in his life.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. You also mentioned you were having trouble reducing the salt in your diet. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my wife's also reminding me constantly that I'm supposed to reduce salt, and my parents are the same. Their doctor is after them to reduce salt as well.
Yeah, who does the cooking at home?
Well, since my parents live with us, my mother does. I mean, she's a great cook. She cooks all traditional meals, and she feels it's her responsibility. So even if we have a day off, she will not let anybody near the kitchen, so she does.
So meal times are important in your family.
Well, yeah, we try at least 3 times a week, all of us to get together, my kids, my parents, and then we have a meal, which is a nice traditional meal, just like we did back at home. And in fact, it's one of the things that reminds us of home. And we like to get our kids involved to see a part of their culture, which is how that food is prepared and things like that. And another thing that doesn't help is the fact that we go to a lot of parties within our community, and people host dinners, we take turns, and it's all food prepared traditionally, just like back home. It's very spicy, it's very salty, so it is hard.
Yeah, it's really difficult to keep the salt out of your diet, and yeah. Okay, well, what else would you like to get out of this appointment today?
I was going to talk to you. I was hoping to get some more information from you regarding me taking these supplements before I take the medications.
Anything else?
No, I would just like to get your opinion on that.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, I'd like to pass on some information that I think may help us make some of those decisions.